Alright. Hi Virgo. Welcome to your reading. I hope that the background noise isn't too loud. I'm doing this batch of readings during the day, so hopefully it's not too distracting. I don't think it should pick it up too bad, but I guess we'll have to see, huh? So with your reading, we're going to focus on the tarot for your YouTube version. Sorry, I'm trying to sage here and talk at the same time, but for some reason it's like, I don't know, my sage is having a hard time lighting. But maybe I just need a bigger lighter. Anyways, it's like that need for detox, but just having a hard time like achieving it, being able to do it. I don't know why this is having such a hard time. Anyways, we're going to focus on the tarot in this reading, and then we're going to hop over to your extended, which is going to have the other 5 decks that I pull from, or the other 4 decks that I pull from, excuse me. So you're going to get a good reading here, but it's going to be definitely more in-depth over on Patreon. So if you want to join our community over there, it's only $5 a month for access to all 12 extendeds. So all 12 monthly zodiac extendeds, you get access to those. You can share with your friends, all things. So that's always fun. And there's no contract involved, so you don't have to do it month to month. There's no subscription type thing. So if you want to do it this month, you can do that. And then if you want to have $5 go to something else next month, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So if you are interested in pretty much getting in touch with me for a personal reading, getting in touch via social media, really any information that would involve me, you can find any of that and all of that down in the description box below. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started because I'm pretty sure that's all I needed to say in the intro. Just trying to keep it pretty clear and concise, but sorry I couldn't really get that sage to light. I don't know what's going on with that. Just kind of have to roll with the energy. Maybe that's how you're feeling too. Virgo, if you find yourself always worried about your responsibilities, always worried about, things that you've got to do, things that you need to tend to, and it's constantly pulling you away from your own needs, or focusing on your own needs, tending to your own needs. If it's something that's keeping you from, if you're hyper focusing on everything else outside of things that, fill your cup, then you're going to live a very draining experience. And it's really important to remember that as much as we want to be of service to everybody and everything, we have to be of service to ourselves as well, and just as much, if not more. So there's balance that's needed, and that's something just intuitively that I'm picking up on. You can't get so caught up in the to-dos. You gotta feel, experience newness, explore, get in touch with that inner child type thing, that inner joy. Wow, you have the Fool too. I forget which other sign had the Fool. I've been doing so many readings back to back. It's like you just kind of get lost. But the Fool is an extremely positive card, but it can also be an overwhelming card because it's the beginning of something new. It's the beginning of a new cycle that maybe you didn't find yourself as prepared for. Or, let me open this window really quick. These blinds. Let some light in. 1 second, guys. I know that helped, but I'm gonna turn on this light back here. Sorry, Virgo, 1 second. Let me see what that looks like in the camera before we keep going. Is the shadow that bad? No, not really. I might end up pulling it closer, but we'll see. I like the ambiance of the candles, but you know, sometimes you gotta sacrifice things like that. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna turn this. Sorry, I didn't really realize how dark it had gotten, I guess, outside. I just wasn't paying that much attention, I suppose. Anywho, so what was I saying? Oh, you know, as exciting as a new beginning is in anyone's life, there's also, you know, overwhelm that comes with it, because there's this sense of, you know, you're a rookie now, you're a novice because you're a beginner at this new cycle, this new stage, this new phase of life. And that can become really tricky because it's a lot of learning curves, right, that you're experiencing. And so as positive of a shift as this is, it is very overwhelming at the same time too, is what I'm picking up on. So maybe that's why you're so like just overwhelmed with like the to-dos in a day, like really trying to like figure out how something new is gonna work, how it's gonna like all like, you know, flow together, how you're gonna make things just fit together, whether that's a relationship, a new job, just your schedule, you know, maybe you have some new responsibilities that you've taken on, like any of these things. But it's a new cycle, it's a beginning of something new within your life. And it's positive, it's just you're still learning, and sometimes that can lead to frustration, which in turn can make you question whether this decision was right or not. And it is. It's just that you're learning, and you have to be patient with the information as it comes in at the pace that God knows that you're gonna like. Because if you have all this information, all the answers pop up and like all at once, then this is a lot of information to digest. So God knows that you need to figure this out, engineer the situation out at a slower pace so that you don't get too crazily overwhelmed by it, because it's already an overwhelming situation. So if you think that things are taking longer for you to adjust to than you would normally like, it's because the universe knows that you will handle this at a better, slower pace than you would at a faster pace. So for me, I just feel like that if anything, we just have to hold gratitude for where we are, even though we have goals of where we would like to be or see the situation evolve to. We have to still hold space and gratitude for where we are now in order to get to where we want to be. Because if we don't do that, then we just naturally hold ourselves back, we stagnate our energy. So we just have to take this lighthearted approach to the situation where it's like, okay, I manifested, I've called in this new path, this new direction, this new whatever. And while there is a lot of learning curves, there's a lot of maybe like frustration that comes with that, it's a blessing, and I have to just stay lighthearted and be flexible and see that I am still a student, especially in the Fool energy. You are in the beginning of a new anything. You're gonna feel, you know, it's kind of like, you know, when you first start, like, I mean, any new project, and you're learning how things work, you know, and then you finally find a flow, you figure it out, and then, you know, it steadily picks up the pace, like, you know, your progress, it does. And so then, it's kind of, that's how it works. And so then by the end of that cycle, by the end of that path, by the end of that project, whatever, you feel like you've really mastered it, right? So you shift from the student to the teacher always. And that's kind of the duality of life here. So that's where we have to embrace all stages. So I don't know if this is like career, relationship, home life, whatever, but this is really applicable information to anything. I think this is why I love general readings, because I think you can apply generalized concepts to pretty much all parts of your life. Like you can adapt, I don't know, maybe I'm just a really eccentric minded person and I can bend ideas that way, but I do believe that, life is a lot more simple than it is complex, but I think it's because we make it complex. There's a lot of information involved, sure, but we can break it down to simple, generalized things, and which helps us understand things better, and then we can move throughout our experience in a more peaceful state of mind, in a more relaxed state of mind, versus always being caught up in that worry, which is what I was feeling in the first place. Like always thinking about what you have to do, what you have to, accomplish today in your life, in this week, in this month, whatever it is, whatever that situation that you find yourself in is. That's where, being in this full energy, it's like, okay, like while there is a lot to learn, while there is a lot to do, I still have to balance, and I have to have that time with spirit, my higher self, have that time of maybe meditation, quiet time. Like not just when you're asleep, like you need to have quiet time while you are consciously awake, and to be able to consciously reflect on your experience, the layers of yourself, what's happening around you. Like there's so much more to your existence than just paying bills, going to work every day, doing the to-dos around the house, the honey to-do list, whatever you want to call it. Like there's so much more to life than that. There's so much more to explore and seek about ourselves and the truths that are playing out all around us. So this full energy is really just remember to relax into this new, still obviously take care of what you need to take care of. We're not, playing ignorant here, but also take on this energy of playfulness and welcoming what you would consider a challenge into your experience, because if anything, it's just an opportunity to grow. And so if we just kind of stop labeling things as challenges, and we start labeling these things, these situations, as more so opportunities for growth and expansion, then life really becomes to feel lighter, becomes less heavy, less burdensome, because those things, those feelings, we attach to them. We consciously attach to them, and we can choose now to consciously attach to something else, to an energy that's lighter and that actually perpetuates and propels us forward versus stagnates us. It leads us to enlightenment and inner fulfillment, which is what the sun represents to me. So, all right, Virgo, well, we're going to end your YouTube version here. We're going to dive more into the tarot, more into your Hero's Journey deck, the Archangel deck. I always say Archangel. Archangel deck, Animal Spirit deck, and the Buddha Wisdom decks. So we're going to get a way more detailed storyline over there, but I hope you did get something from this portion. I'd love to see you over on Patreon. Like I said, it's only $5 a month. But if this is where we part ways, I hope you enjoyed. And if I'm going to see you over on Patreon, let's get it. Bye, Virgo.